sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So welcome everybody, and hello. This is Stand Out. What you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. High performance calls. So come on, we talk mindset, we talk skill set, we talk marketing, we talk success, we talk all sorts of cool stuff. And once in a while, I'm lucky enough to have on a guest to share their knowledge and their information. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome a very good friend of mine, a gentleman named Brock Douglas. He is I could sit here and no joke talk for hours about how awesome the guy is, how much he's done. And I've helped write his biography for a number of different audio or, ebooks and webinars. We've gone back and forth. He could tell you just about everything about me. I could tell you just about everything about him, at least as far as what we tell people in the marketing world. But from a Christian musician with a highly successful band, out and opening for all sorts of different rock stars, traveling around the world, to building out, helping build and guide and manage the build for thousands of e-commerce stores, doing launching supplement brands, putting together courses to help brand new and seasoned entrepreneurs, working with people that have done tens of millions of dollars online to people that have never done anything online, all while taking care of a family and his beautiful biracial babies. I bring to you my good friend, Brock Douglas. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. You're making me blush.
I figured I'd give him the short version.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Enjoying I'm out here in Nashville, Tennessee. It's beautiful today. It's going to be in the 80s, but we went out, got some coffee, got home. We're relaxing now, so it's good.
Good. How is the family?
We're good, man. Yeah, no complaints. Kids are getting big and enjoying it. So
yeah, they're
home today, so someone might slam in here, screaming or something. So I don't know. We'll see.
Right on. So, guys, in a situation like this, like a connected Zoom Q&A, Brock and I have probably done, I don't know, a couple hundred at this point. Mm-hmm. Like we've done a few over the years. And so if we just kind of get into rolling about different things, but, so if you guys have questions, really just about anything to deal with online marketing, pick Brock's brain. Now's a good time to do it. He can answer pretty much everything. Why don't you give us, what kind of stuff are you working on right now? What all are you doing? Yeah.
So, I'm always running ads, a lot of stuff like that. Like you said, we both helped scale a company to, tens of millions of dollars. And, I'm working in another company right now doing a lot of marketing, on the course side of things, reaching people with a really great offer, in the music side of music learning. About to jump into Web3, crypto, blockchain, which is going to be really interesting. I'm like a jack of all trades. I love to learn. It's crazy when you leave school and then you realize that you actually really did like learning. I didn't like learning in school. Maybe I just like learning the things that I really like. So I like jumping into a lot of different things. I'll read about this new thing that's out there. And I'll read it and be like, wow, I feel like I could figure that out. And I'll learn it as well as I could that I could launch something and be successful with. And then I like to move on to another skill set. I think I got that from Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, where you learn a skill, you master it, and you move on to the next skill and you master it. So, at any given time, I'm running 20, advertising accounts, Facebook, Google, about to launch on some TikTok, LinkedIn, man, I've done it all. I've helped scale my own personal TikTok to, I think I'm at 168,000 followers or something like that, just because it's a new platform. It's new marketing. So I want to jump in there and figure out how it works and how to scale these things. So,
and I've seen you on there and you're doing it differently than I've seen you on social media before, which is cool and, refreshing to see.
Well, it's all marketing. When I jumped on there, I realized I know how to grab someone's attention really quickly and how to take an action and then how to close that conversation so that they feel like they've gained something. It's the same on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and all that, but you just need to form it differently. So if you're going to write a sales letter,
grab their attention, give them something of value, close up the conversation.
And so TikTok, what that's done to a lot of the people in this generation, the online generation, is that it's shortened people's attention span. Where if you go on,
but yeah, I think we're about as short as we can get. I almost think, honestly, I almost think TikTok in a way has expanded some, because we went from like 15-second stories on Facebook and Instagram to like a minute to 3-minute videos.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's swinging. I mean, not like a 3-minute video is a real long time for attention, but
it feels long on TikTok though. Which is interesting. So, but so like on you guys have done Instagram stories or Facebook stories. You can hop on there and say, "Hey guys, how's it going? I just want to hop on." Like that's already too long for TikTok. TikTok, it's like,
well, yeah, you got to grab attention quick.
Yeah. Or 3 seconds. You have literally 3 seconds where people swipe on. And I think that translates into you're starting to see that style move over to Facebook now, and move over to Instagram now, and move over to YouTube. And, if you have a video on your landing pages, those are things that you have to grab their attention right away, or else they feel like they've wasted their time. And right. So everything's just getting shorter and shorter. But it's also like, I think it's expanded in a way where the information that people are giving now is being compressed, right?
There's more value in that.
Yeah. You're giving all that value in a shorter amount of time, 3 minutes tops, right? Which is like, you'll start seeing people complain if you're just dragging on with your.
Well, that's like a reel on Instagram, right? Or on Facebook is that 60 seconds. That's all you've got. Right. And so Sarah and Craig are asking for examples, and then someone else was asking about, do you use like for ads and stuff? So we'll get to, do you still use like the empathy map? I know you don't pull it up the way that we used to, but is that still a foundational thing that you use, or?
Yeah, it's one of those things that are in the back of my mind at all times, but it's not
when you do it.
I don't reference it as much as I used to. Yeah.
Right. So guys, what I mean, empathy map, it was something that we used to teach, and one of our mentors kind of introduced us to. It was one of those, like, it's just a basic, people see and they hear and they like, it's how you connect with your audience. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, all right. So an example of how do you grab someone's attention quick, and you're talking TikTok, but again, this applies on any of these platforms,
across the board,
a short video. So what's something you would do to grab someone's attention?
Well, one thing we've done millions of dollars in testing on YouTube with this specific thing. And we've spent millions and millions of dollars on this. And we've learned that, one of the best ways is to give a mystery, like this one thing most business owners are missing out on. Right. So automatically what it does is it piques their interest on like, what's this one thing that business owners are missing out on? And then you go into your story about how you found this solution to this one thing, and you can reveal whatever that one thing is. Or if you have something on the next page, click on the link, on this video to see what that one thing is. On TikTok, you're going to want to answer that question, right? You're going to want to answer that question if you're going to build your authority, you build value. Same thing with Instagram Reels or, Facebook or whatever. You want to build that authority. If you're running an advertisement, you want to capture their email address, whatever. So you might want to reveal it on the next page, or they opt in, or they watch your VSL, or read your sales letter. But that's one that works really great. I know you guys were mentioning like Russell Brunson and all that, where he says like, if you figure out whatever that one thing is that people want to know, and then you give it away for free. You give them that one piece of information for free, so that it builds your authority, builds trust, and then you can capture them as a client, or you capture their email address or whatever it is.
Yeah, everybody's looking to discover. They look for a secret. They look for that one thing. They look for some kind of answer, even though what they really need is multiple things, and they need more than one, but that's what people want. They want the one thing, right? And so that's kind of how you grab their attention, and then you bring them in.
Yeah.
So Janine's asking if you use templates. You've now been doing this for a long time. So do you have kind of a format mentally when you're sitting down to write out an ad, or have you just done it? Or did you have one at the beginning that you've now kind of adopted, like you said, subconscious, like it's just there. I know I've got to do X.
Yeah. So because I've taught on this tons and tons of times, it's kind of like mentally ingrained in myself. And I learned it from our previous mentors. But yeah, so like when I was saying on TikTok, I learned that formula on TikTok was the same as the formula that you would do for a YouTube video or for a sales letter. It's going to be grabbing their attention. Say it's a Facebook ad, if you're writing the ad copy for a Facebook ad, you want to grab their attention or make them answer some kind of mental question. So I've learned a lot that it's, you can do a trivia. Did you know that, 70 million people struggle with sleep every year in the United States? ? They're going to answer that question because it's a question. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, I did know that. Or it's actually 7 million, or whatever it is. As long as they've answered that question, you've kind of grabbed their attention. You could, you don't have to ask a question. You can validate some kind of statement or feeling that they're feeling. Like, don't you hate it when, business gurus say this, but they can't deliver, right? Or whatever it is, you just want that, whatever that first line is, you want to grab their attention. And then you offer some kind of solution. Well, I have this, sleep pill that has been proven for thousands of our clients to help them sleep better.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And then you give them a call to action. You always have to have a clear call to action, on every ad, because on social media, right, people love to just read things and read and scroll. But if you do not tell them what to do next, they will not do it. If you think that just having a learn more button on your ad is going to have them click, you're going to lose out. People will click, but you're going to lose out on potential customers. Yeah. You have to say click below to learn more. Whatever it is.
People complain about being told what to do, but they want to be told what to do.
Everyone wants to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Listen, when I go to the restaurant, I hate making decisions. I do. Like, I sit there and I'll look at the menu and I'm like, oh, everything looks good. I don't know. I would rather have the waiter come up to me and say, these are the 2 best appetizers. These are the 2 best entrees. These are my favorites. This is the dessert you should get. This is the drink you should get. Then I will make the decision based off of those limited, like presidents get decision fatigue because they're constantly making decisions all day. I would rather not use my brain power on selecting something that I'm going to make a decision, but I'd rather not. I would rather you tell me what the best thing is.
Well, so since we got a bunch of people that are kind of newer to this, what do you say to, because I know we're going to have somebody that's on here right now that's going, well, I don't want someone to tell me what to do. I make my own decisions. You're talking to them as new marketers. What would you say to them if they came to you and were like, Brock, I'm not like that. I mean, I make my own decision. I don't want you telling me what to do. I don't want you telling me what to eat. And if it says this, then I'm not going to click it.
Well, first off, I would say that you are not your target demographic. You're not your target market. So I was like Andrew was saying, I was in a band for a long time, and we would buy T-shirts and sell our T-shirts, right? That was how we made the majority of our money at the merchandise booth. And our favorite T-shirt was the one with the really beautiful design that we spent a lot of money getting designed. And that was our fans' least favorite. Why was that? Because we are not our target market. We're not the people. We found out, like, I was like, I'm not going to buy navy blue T-shirts. Who wants to wear navy blue? I don't like navy blue. That was our best seller among men. Women would buy the navy blue for the men over all the other colors of our T-shirts. I don't know why. I'm not the target market. And so I quickly learned it does not matter what I think. It matters what the data says. And the data says that these people like this type of thing. It's this demographic. You'll see a lot of business owners will say, you ask them the question, like, who's your product for? And they'll say,
everybody.
It's for everybody. Yeah.
For everybody.
Everybody
I can tell everyone. I don't want to limit myself. We do
Yeah.
the same thing here when we talk about niches. Like, well, I don't want to, I don't want to limit. Like, I know if I said I just want to market to this kind of real estate agent, that's okay. But really, I don't want to limit myself. I want to be able to communicate with everybody. Right? What's up, buddy?
Sorry, they're wearing costumes and my daughter's dress got wet. So, but yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So when you start spending money on advertising, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say. So, what's the value in a niche and a demographic? Like understanding your demographic.
Yeah. So, you remember Linda?
Worthington?
No, Magoulis. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we found this.
I shared with them, like, in our Skype group. I've got a Skype group where a lot of these guys are in there, where I just post, like, that's where I give them extra content. Blake's got his Facebook group, but I put some extra stuff in there.
Yeah, cool.
I put a short video in there of you, like a 15-second clip from one of the little workshops up in Jersey.
Nice.
You're explaining donuts and what kind of donuts people like.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you have to send that to me. I'm
I
curious.
have hours and hours of Brock training, and I've got him in suits, and then I've got him not so much in suits. I think I've got some karaoke from New York.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'll
what I
anyway.
was going to say is we launched a clothing brand, and
yeah.
we found a winning product. And we were able to scale it. I think within a couple of days, we were up to like, $1,000, $1,500 a day in sales. And every time she would launch a new product, every single time she'd be like, oh, this one's perfect for, 25 to 35 year olds, 25 to 45 year olds. And, every time she would spend money trying to reach that demographic and nobody would buy it. She'd get barely any sales, but once you scaled it to 45 to 65 plus, we were able to scale that product to the moon, basically. And what
she didn't understand, her demographic was older than she thought.
Exactly. She kept saying, "Oh, this product's gonna be perfect for this age," and they never bought it. And it was always the older group in her demographic. Actually, my daughter's trying to say hi.
Hello.
Now she's getting shy. Okay. All right.
She just want to show her hand.
Yeah, that's basically the point. We are not our demographic. We are not our target market.
Right.
You test to learn who your target market is, and then you can cater your copy to who those people are, to their actual pain points. It's not the 25-year-old going to the club. It's the 45-year-old who wants to look good at the country club or whatever it may be. I hope that makes sense.
So I niched down in my latest Facebook ad, and it completely bombed. When I left it open, did not niche down. I achieved much better results. It's hard to say without looking at the copy, the headline, and how far you niche down, like how far you took it, right?
Well, I'll say there's something that's really interesting that I've learned on Facebook over the last 6 to 12 months. There's been a major update to iOS 14. Ever since iOS 14, the Apple operating system on the phones, they've because of that, Facebook's audience targeting has actually been limited. So the more fine-tuned you get with your targeting on Facebook, if it's not a winner, right? If it doesn't just blow up right away, it's almost too fine-tuned. Facebook actually wants you to give them more room so that their algorithm can actually do a lot more of the targeting. So when I launch ads, so there's a toffee company that when the pandemic hit, they were selling at trade shows and things like that. Pandemic hit. Toffee. Yeah. Okay. And so they made all their money from trade shows. When the pandemic hit, they lost their major revenue source. We took them online. We scaled their company with online sales, and their winning demographic, the winning ad interest was toffee. Makes sense, right? I choose toffee for a toffee brand. It blew up. And now what's happened is since iOS 14 has come out, those micro-targeted targeting options do not perform nearly as well as if I just within their whatever their demographic is, 35 to 55 plus, without any targeting, actually performs better in some instances. So the broader you are on Facebook with targeting seems to perform a little bit better. When you guys are targeting business owners, so that's a little different, but getting too micro-targeted can actually be a bad thing, is what I think.
You don't want to get too far down, but some of that, and so that might be it, Caroline. Like if you've got one that's winning and you modify the demographic a little bit and it doesn't work, then go back to what was working, right? As long as it's profitable. So you play around with it. If it's the exact same copy, that would be, I mean, but that's part of testing. And so, no, Forrest, so he's talking with that. He's talking about like running an ad and targeting. Now, let's talk about organic then and kind of building engagement. And, this goes to what you started right away with, TikTok, and we're talking about video, video versus, a copy ad or a picture. You and I used to talk about like people would have, that second and a half. So you have like a scroll and a half from your thumb to capture people's attention if they're looking at it on mobile. And that's about all you've got. So like from an organic standpoint, what are you doing to capture people's attention?
Well, so I think it's a lot of the same. But like we were talking about with TikTok, you have to grab their attention right away. So if it's an image, if you have an image on there, the image is going to do a lot for stopping the scroll. I would say Facebook's not, unless you're using your personal account, Facebook pages are not the best organic source. Unless you're sharing to other you're constantly engaging, you're constantly sharing, or if you're boosting a post here and there, just because.
So a lot
Facebook
of what we're doing is we've got the business page, but a lot of them, utilizing personal page to build following there, and then being active in groups and different things.
Yeah. So images will grab attention. Brightly colored, whatever it is, shocking images. Well, not too shocking, but shocking images where it stops the scroll. So people are like, look, what is this? Right. I would say probably shy away from using, stock images. Right. So if you're trying to sell to businesses and it looks like it's just a bunch of suits and like, that's not going to really grab people's attention. But if it's something that's natural to, say you're reaching chiropractors and, it's someone with obvious back pain, but it looks looks natural to the platform, that might be better. But again, that's going to come down to testing. But if you want people to stop and read your information, you need to make sure that your first line is perfect and the image grabs their attention. Yeah.
Some kind of headline that says, hey, here you go. Let's
I actually love to if I'm creating the image right on Canva, I'll put a white bar at the top and then put in big bold letters whatever it's about, whatever the question is or whatever it may be, just to grab their attention, because it almost looks like a headline. It almost looks native to Facebook when I have like a big bold headline at the top of my image. So it's going to have the copy and then have my big bold headline that I made in Canva and then the image just beneath it, the rest of the image beneath it.
When you talk about going to Canva, and you mentioned earlier how I've talked to these guys a lot about kind of learning what you like to do and what you don't like to do. And if you were going to do it, sometimes do it even if you don't like it, but then at the same time, find people that can do things, that where you don't excel and where I don't like doing graphics and kind of building things out. That's kind of been your thing behind the scenes. Like when you talk with people that are frustrated about learning the tech or, like, what would you say to keep them motivated to keep going?
Yeah. So this is something that I've learned when I was, so I used to wait tables, when I was in my band, back before we started touring really heavily. Actually, when we moved to Nashville, we stopped touring heavily, wrote a record, then whatever. So anyway, I, started waiting tables and I was brand new at it, but I worked with kids before. So I was like, this is going to be a piece of cake. It's not, it's really difficult. It's one of the hardest jobs, waiting tables. So I remember working at Logan's Roadhouse. I'm at the server station filling up some drinks. I have 3 orders to get in. I have to get to 3 tables. I have all these different things I got to do. And I remember sitting at that service station, filling up a Coke and thinking, this is impossible. Like I felt overwhelmed to the point where I wanted to break out in tears because I'm like, this is, I have these people upset. Like I got to get to these tables. Like how do people figure this out? It was just so difficult. And I realized that a lot of people feel that exact way when they're learning a new business, when they're learning a new skill, trying to launch Facebook ads, trying to create ads, whatever it is. After that point, I was able to finish the night, finish the tables, made a very little money because they had a lot of coupons, moved over to another restaurant where I took the skills I learned, moved over to another restaurant. I was better, got faster, better training. Training was a big part of it. We're to the point where they wanted to make me a touring trainer. I would travel with them, open all the new restaurants. Went from there to a fine dining restaurant where had bartender, had trainer. I was making tons of money, bought a house because of it. I was the person that trained everybody that came to the restaurant. And I look back at that one moment where I was sitting at that service station thinking, this is impossible. I want to give up. Worst job ever. Why am I doing this? This is not what I'm called to do. Yada, yada. And to the point where I'm like, man, I would make so much money if I went back to that restaurant because it was selling steaks and I would just upsold and all these different things that I totally understand now. And every time I learn it, like I said, I like learning new skills, right? I learned video development, web development, all these different things just because I like learning now. And every time I get to that point where I realize this is too hard. This is not fun. Why am I doing this? I have other things I can be doing. I realized, I felt this before. I felt this plenty of times and I've come past it every single time. So now this is easy. I know I can get past this. Less qualified people have figured it out.
Yeah. You've hit that wall before. You overcame it before. You can do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I'd say the same thing to all you guys. You've encountered some wall at some point in your life. This is just the next one, and it's time to move forward. How do you think things are going? Well, I mean, you mentioned, so you're doing the music course you're selling on YouTube and other platforms, right? You're still doing the artwork, the square artwork.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how are you doing? And part of this, guys, I want him to talk about this just because I think it's real cool how you guys are selling it and how you're kind of getting the word out and building the community, like building engagement around like event type sales, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about building the audience and getting the audience to engage, essentially, right? So even though we're working with, business owners here, building an audience, getting them to engage in certain things and care about it. What is it that you're doing, and what's the product? What do you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we're doing online 3-day online art shows, and something that came out of the pandemic. One of the artists that we were working with was doing online art shows, and I was doing art shows in her studio in Canada, and Canada got shut down pretty hard. So we took it online, created a business out of it. We do our goal is 6 figures every show, Canadian, so it's like $80,000 a show is what our goal is. We hit that pretty consistently. We probably do a show every 6 to 10 weeks, something like that.
Is it all her artwork, or is it other artists?
No. So what we do is this is what's really cool, because it really helps organically for us. And I think you guys could probably pull something out of this that could help with your businesses. The majority of it is organic. We don't spend very much money on advertising. So we have 60 artists that come in, around that 60 artists, and there's usually one main artist, a featured artist, almost like an influencer. That artist also helps bring in other artists to the show. They all can submit 5 art pieces to the show, and the main artist will get to submit, 10 to 20 pieces. We have a flat rate that we sell all the pieces for, and flat rate for shipping, depending on where they're located in the country. We open the doors 7:00 on a Wednesday night, and it goes for 3 days. And our goal, we get close. We've sold out one or two shows. We try to sell out as many as we can, as close as the art. We found that as closely related the art is to the main artist, they sell it better. So we're still learning it, but what we've learned is that we get everybody in the art show really excited about the art. All the artists get really excited about it, and we tell them, hey, this is a show to help promote other artists. So it's not like if you sell out right away, spend the next 3 days promoting all the other artists. Going up to the show, we give them we tell them, post on Instagram Reels, post on Instagram Stories, post on Instagram about the show, tag us, we'll share you. So every time they tag us, we share them to our Instagram account. We're constantly promoting for the 30, 40 days leading up to the show. So what happens is, it's almost like we take the 60 artists and they take all of their followers and put them in a big pool, and we're all promoting everybody's art at the
kind of cross promoting.
Yeah.
So if I was doing to kind of take some of those ideas and work them here, and we'll do, you could look at artists, because some of these guys are working with photographers or artists or others. So you could do online coaches, you could do anybody. So let's say I've got my hub, I've got my page, and my page is helping. I'll go with just digital entrepreneurs right now, helping digital entrepreneurs to learn how to use social media for their business. I could, almost like an affiliate marketer, promote, I'm going to feature Brock and a handful of others, and we're all going to get together. We all have our ebook launch or whatever. And, we're just kind of sharing with our own audiences. You could do that with realtors around the country. You could do it with, restaurants. You could do it with cake decorators. You could do it with photographers, where I'm going to feature, each week maybe I feature one. Each quarter I put together a group of 10 photographers to look out for, and we all kind of feature each other as we put a list out there, and you become a platform to let them put their stuff out too.
Yeah, I've got a friend. I live in Columbia, Tennessee, just south of Nashville. It's called Muletown. That's like the nickname. We have they're like the mule capital of the world for whatever reason.
That's so impressive.
Yeah, they create a lot of mules here. They make
that should be like your tagline.
Yeah.
I live in the mule capital of the world.
It's Muletown, USA. So I have a friend of mine who runs an Instagram account for like a local business, or for like a local business collective, and he grew that account to nearly 10,000 followers just by every time someone used the hashtag Mealtown or Columbia, Tennessee, he shared that post to his Instagram stories all the time. All he would just scroll through and see a great post and share it. And then he would go and comment on all the posts that are relevant. He would spend, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day just commenting on relevant posts in the target hashtags, and grew and scaled that account for one of the American Pickers guys, Mike Wolf, who's like the actual owner of the account. So he was able to scale that just by kind of that same concept where he's just promoting other stuff that are relevant in town. People that like
to that niche hashtag, like you're talking about. So he understood his audience. So he's looking for consumers that are paying attention to that hashtag, in this case, Mealtown. So he's just going online and looking for other people that are posting about Mealtown. Yep. And then just sharing, commenting, engaging on that particular demographic. Sharing
to the stories, commenting on the posts, asking them questions, whatever it is. And people would go and look at his account because he's commenting. They're like, oh, this is really good information. He's not constantly trying to sell. He's actually posting photos from around town, etc. And people follow him and then engage with his content as he posts.
There you go. Are you guys understanding that? So, if you're doing realtors, figure out hashtags that realtors are using on a consistent basis, be active on those. You'll end up with, and here's the thing you got to understand about a lot of these businesses. A lot of businesses have hashtags or things that they use on a consistent basis that the consumers aren't, right? Because they're in their mind, they're going, this is what a consumer is going to look for. And in reality, it's just everybody else in their business, right? You guys get that? Do we understand? Those business owners are doing the same thing that Brock and I were talking about a minute ago. They think that they are their demographic. Mm-hmm. And so they're using certain hashtags and things going, well, other people are going to engage with this. Meanwhile, all they have is other dentists or other realtors or other contractors engaging with their posts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you're looking for, though.
Yeah. Yeah. The majority of, if you type in chiropractor, only chiropractors are using hashtag chiropractor. Right. Like people that aren't chiropractors probably going to use I hate my back pain or something, right? It's like that. They're going to use something that's a little more fine tuned. And that's kind of like, it's a plus for you guys because I think that hashtags are so watered down these days because everybody using them to promote their business instead of like trying to find relevant content. So if you guys are trying to find chiropractors, hashtag chiropractor is probably the best bet, right?
Yeah. Like if I go get a massage, I'm, and I'm talking about self-care or whatever, I'm not going to put hashtag massage therapist, hashtag LMT. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing that. Right. But those business owners are. So give me a quick, Catalina's saying she's not sure about hashtags. So give me a quick, what are hashtags? What are they? Why would they be helpful?
Yeah, hashtags are a way to like categorize a post, to let people know what the post is about without like say that so like if you go to Instagram and you type in hashtag, which is the pound symbol, hashtag chiropractor, and you click on that, you can see all the posts that people have categorized as chiropractor, right? If you go to hashtag Mealtown, you'll see all the posts that are categorized as being in or around or from Mealtown. So that's basically it. People for marketing for the last, 6-7 years, they say that if you want to grow an Instagram account, you have to use hashtags because or else no one's going to find you. It's not going to show up in anyone's feed. No one's going to discover the actual content. So they recommend you use hashtags so that people can find it easily if you don't have a following. So
it works pretty well on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. I mean, because the algorithms are set up for those platforms to utilize those hashtags too.
Yeah, they even have them on YouTube and TikTok, and all of them are all using hashtags. They came from Twitter originally, but they're all over the place now. So you search for Mealtown, and then these are ones that have Mealtown. Yeah, exactly. 71,000 posts are using that hashtag. So I'm confident that if I were to click on any of these posts, I know that they're from or relevant to Mealtown. I just drove by this place a few minutes ago.
So hopefully that makes sense, guys. And Brock and I've been doing this long enough. Like I can explain what a hashtag is. Absolutely. I've done it for these guys, but this way I get to ask a question, make you look intelligent and just seem like I'm, here listening and learning with everybody else. So it's a good time. What, if you look into like over the course of this year, where you mentioned you're starting with Web 3.0, we've talked a little bit about that. I had a friend come on actually that I want to talk to you about offline. We need to catch up about stuff, but looking at, how blockchain and how things might change for advertising, you feel like, man, I need to shift gears now. Is it, Facebook, Google, and Instagram and all this is still going to be around for a long, long time? Like, I'm okay. Are all these business owners going to remain there? Like, what do you think is going to be happening over the course of the next few years?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what is going to happen. There is going to be a shift over to Web3, which is like the blockchain crypto stuff. I don't think it's going to be as quick as a lot of people want it to be. So I'm not really too worried. What I am like keeping my eye on is how effective Facebook advertising and Instagram advertising are. Mostly because they're losing followers, they're losing targeting options like the iOS 14 stuff. Because of that, targeting across the board, every ad account I've looked at, most people it's not as easy as it was 2 years ago. To
run a targeted ad.
Yeah. We say that every 2 years. There's ways to get around it. There's always people that are going to tweak it and try to get the best results. But return on ad spend just isn't as great as it used to be. That just means that you need to be a little bit more hands-on with your ads.
If you're running ads, right?
Yeah.
Like you've been we mentioned TikTok, and then your buddy building up the Instagram, like that's organic work.
Yeah.
Right? That's the work that you're doing without spending money.
And so that's kind of where the shift is. I've learned just because I was able to build up an Instagram account or TikTok account so easily, I personally think that, every business owner should have a TikTok. Figure it out. It's not that difficult. There's tons of YouTube videos on how to use TikTok. But I personally believe that TikTok is the easiest platform to build a following ever. Honestly, I think ever. So the reason that is if I don't know how many of you guys are on TikTok, it's not just for little kids anymore. I think
I'd say the biggest demographic is older. Actually.
It's growing. It's growing every single day. It's actually for mental health. It's been great for my wife. My wife's been sick for a few years with Lyme disease. And when I got her on TikTok, like I had to convince her to get on TikTok. I sent her a bunch of TikToks to follow because it's kind of wacky when you first get on there. But it's been great for her mental health where she can take in information when she doesn't have a whole lot of attention span because of her illness. She's able to learn stuff really, like just, entertain herself really easily on TikTok. So really quickly, here is how TikTok works. It is built around what they call the For You page, which is their algorithm. Based on what you engage with and the hashtags that you follow and the posts that you like, they're going to create a curated feed of stuff they think you're interested in. And that is what it's built around. You can follow people, but you're not going to see just their content. So what I've learned is Facebook, friends and family, right? The people that follow you on Facebook are going to be your friends and family. Instagram is going to be your maybe things you're really interested in, people that are interested in stuff you're doing. Facebook or TikTok is so micro-targeted that if you just wanted to go and look at people welding all day, you can go to welding TikTok. There's the hashtag welding talk, and it is just people talking about their welding techniques. I don't know how I got there one day. I just saw people talking about welding.
Yeah, I've seen there's a handful of like bladesmiths.
Yeah,
like people that had their own forge at home.
It's amazing.
And if you end up watching a couple of theirs, and then you can click on, a lot of them they'll tag one of their friends, and so you jump over to another account, and all of a sudden next time you get on, like I've got all these people like that are forging and welding blades, banging out blades, and so he's asking about 45 plus demographic. There's so much more, like there's legal TikTok. There's the whole TikTok series, so many of them that are tied to problems with like the HOA that people are living in. Like all of the stuff that you guys talk about in your daily life, I promise you there's videos on TikTok about it. All of it.
100%.
Right? You want to talk, he mentioned mental health. There's that. Dentist. Absolutely. There's, series of video, like you could have your For You page. This is where your newsfeed is. could all be chiropractors, could all be pimple poppers, for crying out loud. Like this stuff that pops up. Yeah.
It's a bizarre world. So, but with that being said, there is like growing. If you guys, you're learning all this great information from Blake and the team, right? If you just hopped on TikTok and just talked about like, hey, this is how I would help chiropractors launch their reach new customers. This is how I would help real estate agents find these are the strategies I would use, right? You don't have to give everything away, but just little hints and tips and things. Then you start becoming the authority that people look to when they want to launch or scale their business. Like that's what it comes down to.
So we had a question: is downloading the app safe if you've got crypto stuff? And I think part of that comes from the fact that company behind TikTok is.
Yeah. So TikTok is based in China. I think Trump was trying to stop that a while ago and almost banned it for a while. I think it's banned in India. TikTok is. So I trade crypto on my phone. I'm not concerned about it. No. The apps, what I use is pretty safe. I mean, Binance is based in China, aren't they? Taiwan or somewhere out
yeah,
east. So
as long as it's on the blockchain, it's a bit different.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about it. That would be I don't want to say a risk, but that would be a risk that you'd have to assess on your own. This is not financial advice.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's interesting because people freak out about TikTok, and then a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you need to go to Telegram." And I want to say it's Telegram, but you go and you look, and Telegram's actually owned by like a Russian oligarch or something. Oh, man. Or it was. So it's just do a little bit of background on it. So how do you make money on TikTok? A lot of the same way we're talking about doing it through Facebook is you're just building it up, and then you're saying, "Hey, check out my link in the bio. Like click here if you're interested in more." You tell them where to go.
Call to action.
You're building an audience, and you've got a call to action. Absolutely. So George is saying a friend has a live show every night on TikTok with the Blues. It has 290,000 followers. It grows 5,000 people per week. He just launched a token, and it's exploding. So there you go. And then Brock, if you want to read, Catalina's got some info about a doctor on the Big Island with Lyme disease and things. You've been through. Let me ask you about that without you having to share. Like you've had now years that you've been working on stuff with your wife's health and things. So you've got that. You've got, you're helping take care of the kids, and they're young. They're, it's not like they're all teenagers kind of off doing their own thing. So you're juggling that. You're juggling your wife's care, and that's been intense. And you just got done saying you're managing at times up to 20 different ad accounts. You're, creating your own content. You're helping other things. Like, how do you balance? What do you do to keep yourself like motivated to do stuff?
Yeah. So I have to sit down sometimes because I've taken some of those business quizzes and things, and I've learned that I'm a creator. I love creating. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of times where I don't love managing the day-to-day things. Like I don't want to schedule out 100 Instagram posts. Like that's not something I'll love this. I create the strategy on what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, but I don't want to be the button presser. So I've learned that, hiring out help is something that I like to do. I have a virtual assistant who lives in Bangladesh, and we pay her $3.10 an hour, and she's amazing. And that's really good money in Bangladesh, right? It's cheap for us, but I can outsource something like that. Yeah. So that's some of those things that I do, where I outsource the things that I find as hourly tasks that aren't as high level as I need to be. When it comes to my family life, at 5:00 every day, I'm off the clock, no matter what. Maybe some 5:05 when the kids come up here and tell me, yeah, they're hungry and they want dinner, right? But I run downstairs and I cook dinner and I relax and I spend time with the kids and I play Barbies with my daughter when I can. And then Saturday is my Sabbath. Sunday is my Sabbath. So Saturday I clean the house. I do all the things that I fell behind on in the house. And Sunday is I go to church and I don't do anything all day other than play with the kids and hang out. And microwave meals, right? So I'm working on this this work-life balance, because
trying to be balanced.
If my kids and my wife were on vacation and I was home, I would probably work till 10:00 at night, just because I enjoy the process and the working and the scaling and the profitability, all those things I love. But, I found that having a Sabbath, which I recommend for everybody, whether you're religious or not, having
a day that you're not doing stuff, having some time for you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Trying to keep balance.
Yeah. You feel recharged or whatever it is, and you just feel a lot better at things.
Scheduling time for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's also things where I've just had to say, this isn't good for this time in my life, where I just need to stop this thing. I maybe come back to it next month. It's in my backlog, but I can't do this right now because of other things that are more important, like this business that I'm trying to scale or launch. So,
right. With, we got a couple of VA questions. I've got a couple of VAs. You've got some VAs. We've both worked with hundreds of VAs now at this point. How'd you find yours? Did you just find her on Fiverr or?
Yeah. So I found Upwork actually. So I've done Fiverr a lot. Fiverr is good if you have one task, you want it done, you know that they can do it really quickly. Upwork, I see it as more like an hourly thing. If I want to hire someone and I want to work with them longer than one day, then I go to Upwork. Because I think I can get the costs down low enough to where it's good for them and good for me. And then I can continue to work with them. One thing I learned from our previous mentor is that with VAs, you hire and fire quickly. Don't be quick to build a relationship with your virtual assistant that you find on Upwork, because they have other clients, other things going on. And if they're not doing a good enough job, there's someone else that will do a good job, that wants to do a good job, that will do it for you if you give them the opportunity. So if you feel like your virtual assistant isn't doing a good enough job, end the contract and move on to the next one quickly.
Yeah.
And also don't accept manual time right away. That's one thing I've made a mistake on Upwork. There's a little button that says that they can enter manual time. If they're going to be doing something on the computer, like scheduling posts, like they should be on their computer, they can go to Upwork and say start the time clock. And so you can actually see screenshots of what they're doing while they're working. I've had someone add in 2 hours of every day, and they sent me something that was incomplete. And I'm like, what? This isn't right. So
yeah, that's not. Yeah.
And the contract, find another VA.
Yeah. Upwork is a site where you can find, people from all over the world that do a ton of different projects. Right.
Yeah.
So like I still use for certain projects, I'll still use Fiverr, even though like I've got a guy full time that does a lot of my stuff. Every single day, like he edits these videos, he does, reels for me, does some other things. He's helping me put together a funnel. I'm helping somebody do a course for SEO. So putting together their funnel and outlining their coursework for them. So he's helping with that. He's one I've had for a while. I actually got through Teo. Nice. And then he left them and came back to me. And so I've had him now for a year and a half. And then other VAs that I've tried to bring on in that time, I've gone through a half dozen where it's just like cycling through trying to, like Brock just said, treat them as, with respect fully, but understand like most of them you aren't their only client. Like you having a couple hours a week isn't going to, take over their life. And so they're probably trying to juggle 5, 10, 15, 20 other people doing the exact same thing. So if they're not doing the work for you, say, thank you, I appreciate it and then you find somebody else. And so, you go through a handful, the same way Taylor used to talk about ads, it's, you go through 10 to find one, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, you just be ready to do that. But if you find that one, like how long have you had the one that's doing your social for you now?
At least a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
once you find them,
Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube community posts, whatever we train her on. We got her spreadsheet. She fills it out. It's amazing.
Yeah. Pretty good stuff. Hold on. So mention contractor VAs. Is there a standard one on Upwork? Yeah, there's some standard ones on there that, you agree per hour, per project. Like there's different ones.
Yeah. It's all a button. You press a couple buttons and it's so, if you go to upwork.com and like just test out, like you don't have to launch one, but if you say, I need a virtual assistant that can launch Twitter ads or whatever, like it's so easy. It just walks you through it all. You can launch it. You'll get 30 requests. You can go through each of their portfolios and read everyone and whatever speaks to you, you hire them.
Look for it. Here's something I'm going to ask you guys to do. Look at people's portfolios, ask them, they can do that. Don't say, hey, give me an example of your work, because they've got a portfolio on there. And don't say like, and most of you guys aren't doing this, and I say this just because doing some work as digital agency, helping build out, funnels and websites for people, doing marketing strategies. Every once in a while I get, like, I've got a guy right now we had a tentative agreement in place. This is a client where it was going to be, building out a site, getting a Google grant for them and doing some other things, and marketing strategies through the year, like monthly consultation, content, funnel building, ads, all sorts of stuff. And, they're coming back and essentially like, well, I want you to do this to test you out for this amount of time and guarantee X amount of return and blah, blah. Like, no, I'm not going to give you a ton of free work. And so don't ask your VAs to do the same thing, is what I mean. Like, don't say, well, I want you to do a few posts for me to show me how good you are. Look at their portfolio. That's what a portfolio is for. I know most of you guys aren't doing that. And I hope that makes sense what I'm asking you guys to not do. Don't abuse people that are in that space, right? It's just like, Forrest is a DJ. I'm not going to say, hey, can you come, DJ for a party for me so I can see if you're any good to use at the wedding? You know what I mean? No, like, you can pay me, I'll come to the party, but I'm not going to just come to the party and like show you my playlist. That's not how this works, right? So finding the right person, method, assistant, platform. Yeah, that's part of running a business, guys. But if you do it the right way and find the right person, it can alleviate so much stress, right? Just don't do it like, oh my gosh, I have to get this done in the next 3 days. You've got to do this for me now. Like, that's on you. You know what I mean? You're creating that emergency.
Yeah, I started a project with my brother. We're doing some marketing stuff on YouTube, and he already has a couple of VAs. And I was like, hey, these are things we need to get done. He just gave his VA tons and tons of work, like 20, 30 hours worth of work a week, to the point where I was like, hey, why did we do all this? Like, he has them in a Slack group, and they have a game night, and they're friends and all this different stuff. And I'm like, yeah, we could have paid $15 for this on Fiverr and had that. We would have maybe $30 worth of work and had it all done. But you paid him, $200-$300 for something because you're friends with their VA. Like, this didn't make any sense. For the time that the guy was putting into it, didn't make sense as well. So we ended up ending that relationship with him. I had to basically say, hey, like, you don't need to carry on this relationship that you feel like you have to give this guy work, because like he already has other jobs in the Philippines that he's doing. Like, it's one of those things that you do have to find a balance to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get too emotional with it.
Yeah. Like, I keep my guy busy, but I'm real with him. Like, hey, if every once in a while I feel like he's, maybe he's taking a little bit longer, I go, hey, like, let's get on track, or I can find somebody. Like, appreciate everything you've done, but keep yourself on point. Let's go. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So always keep that going. Do my taxes, then I'll determine if I want to hire you. Exactly. Yeah. Not that. So, all right. Favorite books? I mean, we're wrapping up. I'm just going to throw a couple.
I've been reading this one. My wife really likes that I've been reading. It's called Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. Yeah.
Yeah. She's really happy with that one. Oh, there's one that I think I told you about. It's called Getting All You Got Out of All You Can by was it Jay Abraham, I think it is. Getting all that you can out of all you got. And that's it. Basically, it's talking about like using the relationships and the things that you've built to help grow your business, which is, I think, is incredible. You would really like that one, Andrew.
Yeah. Out of all you've got.
Yeah, that was a great one. I think it was written in the 90s. So like, yeah, there's this great thing called the internet that just came out, but
that's going to be starting. Yeah.
But literally all of the information, we had a book club on it, and all the information in there is still 100% relevant. A lot of really great stuff, especially for what you guys are doing. Highly recommend it.
Yeah. It's something Brock and I, we used to talk about this all the time when we would talk about, the niche and your headlines and grabbing people's attention and engaging with their emotions and the empathy map. And I'll talk with you guys about the empathy map some next week, but like, the platform may change. We may go to 3.0. We were talking about TikTok. It may be, I joked about the Ready Player One. We may all just be in the metaverse here, in 5 to 10 years. And we're doing this all through.
I'm ready. I got my headset right here.
Yeah, exactly. Mine's in the other room, my Oculus, but the messaging and the emotional connection remains the same. You still have to connect, so, Okay.
None of it's changed in the last 100 years of marketing. It's all, the foundation is all exactly the same. Maybe the time, like the attention span's shorter, but all of it's exactly the same.
So, favorite influencer or two that you're following that you like to continue to learn and grow from?
Ooh, that's a good one. I've been listening to a lot of the sharks recently, from Shark Tank.
Like Kevin O'Leary and
so
Damon
I like
Dunn
I like Kevin O'Leary. He's been diving into the crypto space and all that.
He talks about everything.
Yeah. So I've been listening to him. Not as much Damon John, because I'm not as much e-commerce as I used to be, and I actually don't think he's that good at e-commerce.
He's got people that are good.
Yeah. He was good with his brand Fubu, I think was. Yeah. He launched that, and he has a lot of money, but after I follow the brands that he's invested in, he doesn't they don't do very well.
So who else are you following? Like Cuban or who are you following?
Well, mostly O'Leary, and then I will listen. I listen to all of them really. So
it's hard not to pay attention to people that have done billions of dollars in revenue.
Yeah, honestly, I've been listening to a lot of Elon Musk. So not really listen to him, but him, Jordan Peterson, I like him. He's one of my top guys.
Yeah.
So
yeah, talked about him. All right. So in last year or so, do you have? Well, this is a question I have asked a couple of times, but like favorite purchase under $100 or something that you feel has helped you or your business, or whether it could be a physical item, it could be a book, it could be software, it could be a training course, it could be anything.
That's a good
supplement, anything.
I don't know. I don't know if it's anything that's relevant. I don't like spending money. So
doesn't spend it.
I'll tell you here's one, because talking about like increasing the speed of which I do things, because I don't like doing the day-to-day, like sitting down thinking about like, how am I going to write this specific copy? So here's something that I don't know if you've touched on this at all, but I've been getting really into artificial intelligence, OpenAI, GPT-3. So one of Elon Musk's company they created a artificial intelligence platform, or an open source platform called OpenAI. Mm-hmm. It's what your Amazon Alexa is tapped into. Basically, you can ask this open artificial intelligence questions, and it can answer the questions for you. Or you can say, "Hey, write this certain thing for me in the style of this person," and it'll write copy or whatever it is for you. So there's a company called Jasper AI, used to be called Conversion AI or Jarvis AI. So I pay for that monthly, because I've found that if I can get ideas quicker so that I can make a final product of something, then I've saved myself time and money. So if I'm spending $30, $40 a month for Jasper.ai to help me write ad copy so that I can then later tweak into being a better system, that's the thing that's done it for me. That is probably one of the best purchases.
So if you're doing content at scale, something that helps you scale that is a tremendous value.
Yeah, I can sit down and write ad copy. I know the formula. I know how to do it, but I would rather shorten that distance between an idea to a final product by throwing in some artificial intelligence that has billions and billions of references off the internet that it's pulled, or copywriting sources or Facebook ad sources, and I can say, okay, I want a Facebook ad for this CBD product that is organic, that helps you sleep, and has terpenes in it, and then it'll give me 3, 4, 5, 20 different options, and I can pull from all those options and create a final product. So that's one of the things that helped me, just the speed of what I can do something.
Very cool. No, I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Brock, I appreciate you coming on, my man.
All right.
It's good seeing you.
Yeah, man.
We do need to chat though. We got some stuff going on that we'll talk.
I'm always in this chair. Just waiting on a phone call.
Guys, round of applause for Mr. Douglas, please. I'll have my guy who does awesome stuff. I'll have him
thanks y'all.
Create a reel. So he's good. All right. Everybody have an amazing day. Have a great weekend. Get out and make things happen. Be productive. Be awesome. And as always, find a way to. Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out?
Love you.
What you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think.
Thank you. Rise from the ashes and
Make it a
fly
great day for
that you are.